anytime anything changes like this, anytime anything shifts, anytime anything gets difficult, you do not stop your marketing. The marketing is the very thing that's going to cause your income to happen. So if you stop your marketing or stop investing there, then you are directly like cutting yourself off at the knees to be able to be successful income-wise.
What's up, y'all? Welcome to the Carrot Cast. Now, the Carrot Cast, we're usually diving in doing interviews with amazing real estate investors, amazing real estate agents. Now, in these episodes, every Thursday, they're the Trevor Truck Talks, where you get to hear behind the scenes of the mindset shifts I'm going through as a CEO of one of the fastest growing companies in America, and the mindset shifts you can take to run your business and win back your freedom as well. Let's dive into this episode.
What's up, guys and gals? This podcast is going to be, I'm going to go straight to the point. This podcast is going to talk about the recession ahead and what we can do to get ready for it and not just survive through whatever changes happen, but really thrive through them as well. So, I remember this podcast here kind of makes me feel like things did back when COVID started, okay, in a good way, and also just kind of how do we prepare as entrepreneur way. When COVID started, there was a lot of uncertainty, right? We didn't know what was going to happen. There was a lot of predictions like things were going to crash, like the real estate market was going to shift back then. And I remember coming at the podcast here, really telling you guys and gals, hey, button up, right? Button up the business, tighten up your expenses, find some new ways to earn some income, build some cash reserves. And one of the things I also told you guys back then, which has become completely true the whole entire time, was there's a lot of people who were stopping their marketing because the uncertainty. There were a lot of people who were stopping their Google pay-per-click, stopping their direct mail. And I can tell you that was the exact wrong decision if you did that. Anytime anything changes like this, anytime anything shifts, anytime anything gets difficult, you do not stop your marketing. The marketing is the very thing that's going to cause your income to happen, okay? So if you stop your marketing or stop investing there, then you are directly like cutting yourself off at the knees to be able to be successful income-wise. So what do I do when things start to get tough or shaky or there's uncertain times ahead? Well, I'm going to walk you through in this episode exactly what I do, what I'm doing right now, and what you should do. And the thing that I want to give you guys some solace for is we've been calling this market change for probably 3 to 4 years. COVID just, added this crazy dynamic to the whole thing that none of us could have predicted. If you guys remember back in probably 2018, 2019, I was talking about the shift ahead and how do we stand out? How do we win in a changing market? Well, I'm going to walk you through a few things. The first thing, I'm going to talk financial. So on the financial side of things, this is probably one of the most important things you guys can do on the financial side of things to be ready for the change ahead. So the first thing is, guys, you've got to look at your expenses and you've got to ruthlessly cut the expenses that are not aimed to drive revenue, okay? Any expenses that do not help you make more money, keep more money, or grow that money, you should really, really look at. Okay? You should look at everything that's not directly being produced, things that are not being used, that are not money directing, or they're not money type of activities, and cut those. Here's an example. So we have some software that we use, and it's good software. We intend to keep using the software. But over the years, we just really didn't pay attention to what was happening with it. And as we added new users to our account, and as we added more leads to our system, what ended up happening was our price went up. And our price was to like $3,000 a month. And technically, when you look at it, yeah, we were paying the price that I guess we were supposed to pay. But we actually reached out to them, and they had some programs in place that we didn't know about that would actually cut our monthly cost in half. And so with one phone call, we were able to take our monthly software expense for this one software from $3,000 a month to like $1,400 a month. And so if you do that 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 times, all of a sudden that's a real income saver. Okay. So where can you trim some expenses around the business? It could even be employees, or it could be VAs. And the way that you want to look at those is I use something called the the values and skills matrix. You kind of like an X and Y axis. You have a line that's straight up and a line that's horizontal that goes through the middle of it. And in the upper and on the X axis is skills. How good are they at doing the craft of the job, right? All the way over to the right of that would be like they're an expert. They are absolutely amazing. They drive this thing so well. They need no, they need no hand holding. They're a driver in this, and they're an expert at what they do. On the left is like, oh my gosh, they need help with everything. In the middle is, yeah, they're doing average. You know what? They do a pretty good job. They can execute the stuff pretty well. They do good. There's no reason to fire them for it right now, right? But they're not really excelling. They take some hand holding. They take a good bit of your time still to be able to coach them through things. The other part of the axis is core values. You have your core values, hopefully, that you have set for your business, and you ask, well, is this person a core values match? All the way to one end is, yes, they absolutely are. This person amplifies our culture. This person makes our culture better. This person brings us forward. All the way on the bottom side, I guess it would be. Top side is they amplify. The bottom side is, oh my gosh, they detract from the culture. This person's a cancer. This person's actually making things harder for those A players, right? And so for anybody, guys and gals, that lands in the bottom left, which would be not below average skill set and below where you want them to be core values match, you've either got to coach them up or you've got to move them out. That expense on the books is going to be a lot bigger expense in the end if you start to lose really, really good employees because of some of those ones that aren't quite as good of a match. And those are hard decisions to make, right? Like, those are not the first things that we should be looking at. We should be looking at where we're wasting money elsewhere. But then we have to look at the biggest expense item that we have, which is usually manpower. It's usually our teams. And we have to ask, are these teams delivering what the company needs them to deliver? And we also have to remember that business isn't a charity, right? And I think sometimes us as entrepreneurs kind of run it like that a little bit because we're afraid to make hard decisions. Sometimes we'll run it like a charity to go, well, I like this person a lot and enough money's coming in. And so, I'll keep it going because I just don't want to do that hard thing. That person has a good family and I like this person. And yeah, I really should have a more effective person in that role. And yeah, it's like, it takes time and energy out of my time, and it takes it away from other team members and other things I should do. But I really like the person, right? And those are the hardest ones, guys. And I'm struggling with some of that as well on my end. So that's a challenge that I'm wanting to face as well a lot better. So tighten up your expenses, guys and gals. Next thing to look at is where can you add income to your business right away. And so if you're an agent and you're not doing hybrid yet, that's like the very next logical way that you can and should add income to your bottom line with no extra leads. Like, that's the cool thing about hybrid, y'all, is you're doing hybrid with the leads you already have, right? And then if you really step into hybrid, it actually makes it far easier to generate seller leads. So if you're going to embrace hybrid, it's going to be easier to get sellers when you do hybrid because you can market to them the direct offer marketing message, which works amazingly well, especially in a hard economy. Okay. And so add an income stream. If you're an investor and you're not an agent yet, or you're not working with agents, you should start working with agents. You should take your leads that are not the wholesale or discount offer leads, and you need to get them over to an agent. Do a revenue share with an agent, or become an agent and get those listed so you can earn that commission and help that seller better. Okay. There's a lot of other ways you guys and gals can find ways to earn income. I wouldn't earn income getting distracted though. Okay. So I wouldn't earn income saying, hey, my core business is an agent and now I'm going to go into property management. Now, like, that could be if that's a core part of your strategy, right? If a core part of your strategy is acquiring properties, or that's just the next likely thing you should do because maybe your specialty is working with investors, then great, do that. But don't do it just to make money unless it's a core part of your strategy. Same thing with coaching or starting coaching programs or creating a course or any of those types of things. Unless it's a core part of your strategy and your flywheel, do not do it just to make more money because it's going to distract you from your main business. Okay. So find ways to make some more money, earn some more income that are additions to and amplifiers of your current business and your current business model, not distractions from it. Okay. The next thing, guys, to really ready for the recession after you've tightened up those finances, I guess this is part of tightening up your finances, is build up your cash reserves. So as you've increased your income a little bit, as you've decreased your expenses a little bit, don't go now and spend that money on things that do not produce you income or that are not going to help you capture opportunity. Okay. So with that extra income, sock it to the side. Okay. Put it to the side, because in this time, number one, we don't know what's going to happen fully. I've got some good guesses, but we don't know what's going to happen fully, with the market and with our businesses. I believe inventory is going to keep rising, which is going to help soften prices. I do believe that home prices are not going to keep appreciating at the paces that they have been. I think in some markets, home prices will go down a little bit, 10, 15%, maybe 20% in some markets like Phoenix. But I don't think that they're going to get cut in half. I don't think most markets' prices are going to go down over the next year or two. I think most markets' prices are going to stay solid, maybe even go up a little bit because of the inventory issue. Even with interest rates going up, you're going to see home prices going down, which is going to help to mitigate some of that pressure on the buyer. But then you're going to have the pressure on the buyer from the job standpoint, right? So we're already seeing layoffs across industries. We're seeing big tech companies that are funded laying people off. We're seeing people in the mortgage industry laying a lot of people off right now. We're seeing real estate brokerages, some of those public companies like Compass and others that are laying people off right now. I think this is only just beginning, because cash is harder to get now for the companies that are public or the companies that are venture funded. It's harder to go to the market to get cash. It's harder to go to VC firms to get cash, private equity firms to get cash. They're tightening things up. And so they can't go back to that easy, cheap cash that they were going to a year, 2, 3 years ago. They have to run their business effectively. And if they weren't running their business effectively with a good model, the only thing that they can do is lay people off. And so the reason I'm saying this is because it's going to create hardships around America, and it's going to create opportunity for you to serve those people that are having those hardships. So the hardships are going to be people losing their jobs. So that's a good opportunity to find really, really good talent to fill in those areas that you are weak, to fill in those areas where maybe you haven't delegated well yet, to fill in those areas where maybe there's a team member on your team who you love, they're awesome, but they're not performing, and you need to get a person who can perform in there and who's hungry. So the job market, I think, is going to soften. I think in general across the board, not all roles, but I think in general, we're going to see a softening of the labor prices. We've seen those go up a lot this past year. And on the engineering and tech side specifically, and that's going to create opportunity. But also, what's going to happen is when people are losing their jobs, they're also not going to be able to pay their mortgages or their rents. So I think there's going to be more opportunity for finding tired landlords that maybe are having some people come to them, that lost their jobs and can't pay, and they're just ready to get out of the game now. And so I think there's going to be a great opportunity to find properties to buy, rental properties to buy, multifamily, things like that. And I think there's going to be a great opportunity. We're already seeing a dramatic increase on the conversion rate on our clients' websites for sellers and buyers, but mainly sellers. We look back all the way to 2019 at the conversion rate trends, and traffic to the websites, started going up at the end of 2020. End of 2020, buyers and sellers were hitting our clients' websites like crazy. The problem was when COVID hit, conversion rates went down, right? Conversion rates went down by 10 to 15. They went down immediately by 20%, and then they popped back up, but they were down from pre-COVID times about 10 to 15% or so, because when COVID hit, people still had the need. They were still searching for it. They just didn't know what to do to sell. Okay, either at the start they didn't think they wanted to sell or could sell because of the actual disease, because of COVID, because they didn't want to get out there, have open house, or people walk through their homes or whatever. But then the next thing was they couldn't find a house. And so then they were going, I need to sell. It's not that acute. 10 to 15% of those people were saying, my pain isn't that acute that I've got to sell like now. And where am I going to move? And so now we're seeing that change. The past 2 to 3 months, we've seen conversion rates on websites go up dramatically. So now people are saying, okay, time is right. I've got to sell now. I think they're either feeling some of that pinch, that financial pinch, and their problem is now acute and they've got to get it solved, or they're seeing the market is shifting. They're going, okay, I got to get this thing sold before the market goes down. And so this can be a really, really good opportunity. This is why you don't stop your marketing, y'all. This is why you create content. This is why you build authority, because these people have been searching for the past 2 years, guys. And so who are the ones that they're going to actually work with? They're going to work with the ones that has been in front of them the entire time. The ones who are retargeting them back with video content that's testimonials and education and building value. And when they're ready to act, they're going to go back to your site because they recognize and see you. They're going to go to the people who they clicked your ad and you retargeted them onto Facebook. They're going to go to the person who was ranking in the Google rankings, who their ad is there, who they're seeing on Facebook. Guys, they're going to go to the ones who are building trust and authority the way that we teach it. And so do not stop your marketing when things get tricky, because things they have a limited lifespan. Double down on your marketing when things get tricky. Those are the people who are going to win. That's what we're doing right now. Okay. And so on the recession side of things, stock up the cash, because you're going to be able to find more opportunities. Those opportunities are going to look like rental properties to purchase. Like I said, those opportunities are going to look like more people having distress financially that you can serve and you can help. Those opportunities are going to look like businesses that you can buy or start, even if you wanted to, that are in the real estate business or outside the business. There's going to be a lot of opportunity, y'all. So you need to have some cash and some capital there to be able to capture those opportunities and do it at a discount. Okay. So here's a couple more things that you guys can do. On the marketing side specifically, guys, I do think that there's going to be a little bit of a thinning of the herd between investors and agents for the ones who aren't stepping out and really doing what we teach. Okay. The ones who are not stepping out and really focusing on evergreen marketing, who are the ones who are stopping all their marketing are going to struggle. The ones who are not creating any content, not building credibility. And this time ahead, in uncertainty, people look for those who that they can trust. And we want you to be the person that they can trust. Okay. Now, how do you do that? Well, the only way to build authority and trust is with content. The only way. And so you build out your Carrot Authority Hub. You make sure that you have really, really good testimonials. You make sure you have good videos. You're creating your video posts. You're doing all those types of things to be in front of your prospects with content that they can see you. They can see your face or someone on your team. They can hear you speak. They can hear the confidence in you and the way that you can serve them. And you're really stepping into your position as an authority. Share those on social media. Get them out there and really invest into Google Organic, really invest into paid marketing heavily this next 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12 months. And so, guys and gals, I'm going to continue on a series of what you can do to be recession ready and thrive ahead. So keep on the podcast. You'll see some other episodes where I'm going to dive deep into the marketing side, deep into the mindset side, deep into the economic side of things. And so keep an eye out for those episodes coming. This is kind of your primer. Don't be scared about this market ahead, guys. When I started in this business, it was in 2007, 2008, which was the very worst time possible to start. And that's when many of my friends started as well. And that's when they started thriving, because when times change, that's among the biggest moments of opportunity that you can ever have. I think this next 3 to 5 years will be some of the greatest opportunity potentially of the next 20 years for us professionally and financially. Will it be easy? No. Is it going to be hard? Yeah, there's going to be challenges. But those who are going to capture those opportunities are the ones who are ready. Those who are going to capture those opportunities are the ones who are making changes right now to their business, to their positioning, to their messaging that's going to be speaking to this new market dynamic. If you're going to be having the same messaging you did 2 years ago, you are not going to do well. If you're going to be having the exact same marketing tactics you did 2 years ago, you're not going to do well. But if you shift to what's working ahead, shift that messaging, which I will talk about the recession-ready messaging here in a future episode. If you're willing to shift, then you are going to capture this opportunity, guys. All right, guys, one of the ways that I want you guys to shift is join us in Dallas, Texas, August 31st and September 1st, live for an event called the $1 Million Meeting. We're going to be talking about this market shift at the $1 Million Meeting in person. I'm going to be there. Tons of our most successful Carrot customers are going to be there. Keith Sant, Andy Kaloji, Bill Hollis, Jason Lewis, $3 million wholesaling business out of Utah, Mike Hambright, Dylan Tanaka. So many of our most successful customers are going to be there. Go to milliondollarmeeting.co. That's milliondollarmeeting.co/Carrot. milliondollarmeeting.co/Carrot. There's going to be hundreds of Carrot members there with you. And we're going to thrive in 2023, y'all. milliondollarmeeting.co/carrot. We'll see you then, guys.